All right, people out there, this is Willesmedia and Entertainment TV, your regular TV show that you always watch, Willesmedia Chit Chat Show. Today, I am not in Chicago, but I'm all the way normal. If you don't know normal, you can Google and you will know where normal is. I am here today to talk to a friend, a brother, somebody that I've heard about. And what are we talking about? We are talking about how you can school in abroad. A lot of people in Ghana, let's say our big men, the ministers, some retired president and all that, all of these guys, a lot of them try to come to school in the United States, London, Oxford University, and all that. I believe you watching me, maybe you have a dream of studying abroad, but you don't know how to do it. You don't know how you can start it. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know who to advise you. So today we came by your way to talk about studying abroad. So if you have any relative, you have any friend, you have anybody that you think the person wants to study in abroad, the person is welcome, and you can share this video. You can like it. If today being your first time, just subscribe it. So anytime that we bring any show like this, we will you will have it to watch it. So before I introduce the man that is my guest today on my show, we would like to go for a short, quick break. And then when we get back, I will introduce my man to you. A quick, short break. All right, people out there, Willesmedia and Entertainment TV, we went for a quick break. I am here with my man, Matthew.
Yes.
I salute you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, if we're talking about Matthew, what is the last name and what is your full name?
So, my full name is Matthew Edor.
Matthew
Edor.
Edor.
If you go back on the days of birth, I'm a Friday born, so I'm Kofi. And I'm also a twin from the Edor tribe. So, yeah.
So, you have a twin brother or you have a twin sister?
I have a twin brother.
A twin brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, technically, I'm Achu. So, when you go home, they call me Achu. And
Achu.
my brother is Eche.
And you are Kofi too?
I'm Kofi. So, Kofi Achu.
Kofi Achu.
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
wow. Kofi Achu. Matthew. And then you are Ewa, right?
Yes, I'm an Ewe.
Okay. Okay. So, what side of...
So, I come from Tove in Akachi.
is it far from Accra?
It's, let's say, about 3 hours drive from Accra.
3 hours drive.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about your life. Where did you grow up and your school and things like that?
Yeah, so I grew up in Ashaiman for my formative
Wow,
years.
Ashaiman. So do you know the guy called Stoneboy? He's a Ashaiman guy, right?
Everybody knows Stoneboy.
Yep.
Yeah, so I grew up in Ashaiman. I had my primary school in Ashaiman, and then I
okay.
moved to the Volta region for junior high school. And from there, I went to senior high school, St. Paul's Senior High School.
St. Paul's?
Yes, Sparkle. I don't know if you know Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Yeah, one of the renowned boys' schools in the Volta region.
In the Volta region, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I studied.
So what did you
I studied
study?
general arts.
General arts?
Yes, with literature, English, French, music. Those were my subjectives.
So is that the reason why you were playing the piano today?
Yes, so I have, I would say that I have this basic or yearning to be a musician, not a musician, but I have the love, the passion for music. So I took that, I developed that when I was a kid, started with drumming, singing, and then I learned the piano and all of that. So I have always kept that with me.
Okay.
And anywhere I go, if I'm not really perfect in all those things, but anywhere I go and then they lack maybe an instrumentalist, I just offer my services to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about Volta region?
Oh yeah, Volta region, one of the best places you can be.
Are you sure?
Yes, one of the best places. Very serious.
Is it because of the food?
Yeah, we have good food. Our culture is rich.
So which of the food do you like most?
Okay, it's really interesting. I'm an Ewe, but most Voltarians sort of like akpele, but unfortunately I don't eat akpele, which is weird. Sometimes I reminisce on that and I'm like, I don't know why, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
yeah. I would say one of my favorite food in the Volta region is probably jangpele.
Jangpele.
Yes.
How is it prepared?
It's like akpele, but this time
is it like corn and stuff?
Yes, it's corn. Corn
okay.
dough that they cook with sort of something palm nut soup. So it's reddish in color. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So after high school, you said what was the name of the school?
Yeah, so I went to Sparko, St. Paul's Senior High School, studied general arts.
Arts?
Yeah, I left Sparko in 2010.
Who was your best teacher?
My best teacher. That's a really good question, but I would say I'm trying to recall her name. She was my English teacher.
Okay.
And she really impacted my life. The way she sort of took care of me. I mean, I was very tiny and she really cared for me. So she had an impact in my academic life back in high school. Yeah.
Okay.
So from St. Paul's 2010, and then I moved to UCC. For my
University of
Cape Coast.
Oh, okay,
for my degree.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what did you study?
I studied communication at UCC.
Oh, okay.
Yes, from 2013.
So if somebody's watching us, do some people know you over there?
Oh yes, I mean I have a couple of friends still in UCC. I mean I've had people reaching out to me, social media, LinkedIn and other platforms. You get to put your education there, and then you connect with people. So I have a couple of friends still at UCC, and my friends are all over the world. So.
Okay, so what hall was it?
I was in Kwame Nkrumah Hall.
Oh, everybody says Kwame Nkrumah Hall.
It's the best hall you can have.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I mean, all the halls sort of, let me say, Nkrumah Hall is this very serene environment where Christianity is a big thing there.
Okay.
Not just like all the other halls. I'm not saying Christianity is not in all the other halls, but I had this kind of affection towards how the hall is being run. The hall master was particularly a very good, staunch Christian, so he made sure that we the residents of the hall were not just doing anything anyhow.
Oh, okay. So we want to move to studying abroad. What first of all came into your mind to get into abroad to study? Is it because if you're studying in Ghana, it doesn't go well? Is it because if you study in Ghana, you don't have a good job? Can you please tell us the reason and then the first thing that came into your mind of coming into United States to study?
Okay, so growing up, I mean, I've always wanted to move outside of Ghana. I wasn't sure then why, but I think for now I have a reason why I had that whole idea of moving out of Ghana to come to the US. But it wasn't purposely to study, but when I was in university, I've heard of studying abroad and all of that. I didn't personally take it serious, but after I left school, I wanted to just further my education, and furthering my education back in Ghana meant that I would have to pay for my fees and all of that. So I started reading about scholarships, funding, and other opportunities, and I realized that most of the schools in the US have funding opportunities for you to just further your education without having to pay it out of pocket. And I mean, in Ghana, going for a master's program is a whole lot of money. So I think that was what motivated me, especially the scholarships, just to pursue a scholarship, have the government or anybody pay your fees while you study and pursue your dreams. So I think that was the driving factor for me moving to the US. Originally, the plan was to move to Canada, but I don't know why I ended up in the US. And
were you having somebody in the United States before doing all that?
No.
You weren't having anybody?
I had nobody. I didn't know anybody here.
So it just came to your mind that, I want to do this, and then you just started.
So it came to mind, go for your master's, do your master's. I actually wanted to do it right after school, but I couldn't do it right after school. I still had the yearning to get a PhD. I mean, I wanted to become a professor. So this thing, it has been.
If you're talking about professor, what kind of I mean, we have a lot of people that say, I am a professor. So what kind of professor are you talking about?
Well,
Like being a lecturer or something?
Yes, to
Oh,
put
wow.
it basically, I wanted to be a teacher, like a teacher
Oh,
at the
okay.
tertiary level, right? That was my goal.
Why you don't want to teach the kids?
No, not necessarily. So the funny
You
thing
see
is,
you see
I've
you.
taught kids.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after high school, I taught at the Tova Basic School,
Oh, okay.
where I was teaching primary 2 and primary 3. So I had this passion for teaching kids and helping them reach their goals. And it wasn't just primary students. I also organized classes for JHS students, preparing them to get ready for their BC and all of that.
Okay, that means
So,
you have the passion of teaching.
yeah, I mean, I had the passion of teaching.
And that is why you wanted to be a professor.
To be a professor.
Okay.
And I would also say that I have this perception that being a professor is a prestige on its own, because you help people reach that professionalism when it comes to academia. So you help people reach that academic goal where they want to be an expert in a particular field. And that has also driven me, because I wanted to be an expert in communication. So it would be good to become an expert and also help people climb that ladder to become experts in that field.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when you got into the United States, how did you make it? You don't have anybody in the state. You just dream about coming into the state to further your education.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean that's a really good question. When I came to the US,
Were you not thinking about, where am I going to stay? Who's going to take care of me? Because we got a lot of people in Ghana right now, as I'm speaking right now, their parents are there taking care of them, even they can make it. And you were traveling all the way from Ghana to Chicago.
A lot of miles away from Yeah, I mean it's a scary thing to do, because you are not just moving away. It's not like you're in Ghana and you're moving away from Accra to Kumasi, where at least the distance is not so huge. But this one, you're moving across continents, you're moving across the sea. And getting here, it was scary at first, because you don't know anybody. It's just like you're starting your life all over again.
And then you weren't having any mates that is in the state that you were like communicating with the person. Hey man, it's good, you gotta come, something like that. There was nothing like that.
So I have a friend in Canada who I speak to most often, but I mean, of course, he's in Canada. But coming to the US, I just came alone. Nobody to talk to. It was just me facing that journey of pursuing my academic goal in a different city, and it comes with loneliness. It comes with all those sort of things, because there were times that I missed home. There were times that you were like, why am I even here? But it's all boils down to persistence.
Is it because some people like intimidating, or some people saying stuff? That is why. Is that why you become like, I wish I could go home and stuff like that?
So here's the catch. Especially with the education system here, when you get into it, it makes you, or you feel like you don't know anything, because of how the education is structured. Back in Ghana, we are taught, we are basically taught that there is no sort of discussion, dialogue between professors and their students. There's not much of that. So you get to class and a professor just throws the question and everybody's talking. And you basically have nothing to say. It's not that you don't have anything to say. You know the thing, but we are not brought up in that culture where you can just freely speak.
And how is the difference right here?
The difference right here. Yeah. So over here it's everybody speaks up. That is the thing. So you go to class, they throw out a question, and people are just saying what they think about it. You know the answer, but you are not able to express yourself. So let me put it that way. The culture over here is very expressive, but in Ghana we are brought up to, we are brought up intimidated. We are not able to speak up, so it translates into the classroom as well.
Let's go this way. If you have the chance of education, telling people, lecturers, or maybe let's say the Ghana school department, if you have the chance of telling them something they need to do or something they need to fix about the education system, what would you talk about?
I would say the teachers, the lecturers, they should help the students through the process. They shouldn't force things on them. Not necessarily force, but they shouldn't sort of spoon feed them. They should help the students learn for themselves.
Oh, okay.
In essence, you go to class, it's not just about A is equal to B. Throw the question. Even if A is equal to B, ask them, what do you think about this? Let them share their thoughts before you tell them what it actually is. That way you help them to sort of figure things out on their own. You help them to learn on their own rather than just going to class, teaching them science, all of that, without having them express or learn for themselves. So I think that would be the best thing. This way, students can be expressive. Students will want to dig out information. Just imagine you go to class and then you are expected to speak. Before you go to class, you do the readings.
Okay.
You do the readings so that when you come to class, you'll be able to say something and not just be looking at everybody whilst they speak. So I think that is something that the education system in Ghana can incorporate. This sort of discussions, it really helps.
Yeah. All right, people out there, we'll go for a quick break, and then when we come back, I'm going to ask Professor Matthew, Professor Matthew, the process of doing this by coming into the state for your education. So we're going to go for a quick break. All right, people out there, this is Willesmedia and Entertainment TV. If this is the first time of watching this TV show, this is Willesmedia Chit Chat Show. So if today being your first time, please like, share, and then subscribe, okay? We are talking about studying abroad. If you're in Ghana, if you're in anywhere in Africa and you want to get into the state to study, I have a professor to be. So we're talking about studying abroad. He did mention a lot. If you started watching this video from the beginning, he has mentioned a lot. Now we're going to talk about the process of doing this. Professor, if somebody want to get into the state for schooling, how is the process?
Yeah, it's a very tough process. You'd have to be committed. I mean, you must be very committed to going through the process, especially if you have to do it yourself. And I personally did it myself. I did everything from beginning to end. I didn't depend on any agent. There are a lot of institutions out there offering helps, agents, and some of them will scam you, of course. But if you really want to do it, you can do it yourself. Go through the process from the beginning. It's all about so let me start from where I started from.
Where you started from, yeah.
So, I mean, I had the idea to study abroad. So I started researching on schools to apply to. What do the schools need? Just like you're applying to any school in Ghana. So if you're applying to University of Ghana, you want to read about the school, the programs they offer. So just get on the internet, Google, search for schools, find out if they are offering the programs that you want to study.
And hold on, does it really matter the state? The state that you want to go to the school, maybe Chicago, or maybe New York, or maybe Texas, or whatever. Does it really matter the state, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I would say that it does not necessarily matter, but if you think it matters to you, for me it did not matter to me. But if you think, I want to move to the US, specifically I want to move to Illinois, I want to move to maybe Colorado or something, then it means you have to focus, or you have to limit your search to that particular state. So if you want to move to Illinois, then it means that all the schools you're looking out for, they should be in Illinois.
Okay.
So that is the first step to take.
First step to take. Okay. So the what's it called? The you did the search. You were saying you did the search, and then what else?
So after doing the search, you get a school, a specific school, and then they are offering the program that you want to do. What I did was reach out to the program coordinator. So if you're getting into a master's, if you're trying to get into a master's program, reach out to the program coordinators. Usually you find the emails, the phone numbers of the coordinators on their department website. Reach out to them, introduce yourself. You are trying to apply. They are ready to give you information. I mean, you'll find most of the information on the internet, on their websites, but it's due diligence to reach out to them, and they are ready to help you. So once you get that information, look out for what they need. What are the requirements? The GPA, what GPA are they requiring? What letters are they requiring? Most of the schools in the US require you to submit a personal statement of purpose in your application process. And most of them also require personal statement of purpose, and a writing sample. Yeah, that skipped me a little bit. Writing sample is just any work that you've done individually. It could be a 10 paper you wrote, your project, a seminar paper you wrote. Just put that together and you submit those. Those are the basic things that they require. And of course, your CV.
Your CV?
Yes.
Your CV as well.
So you put those things together, you start the application process, you pay for the application, and then you patiently wait for admission.
Okay, and let me ask you this. Does it really matter the age?
Yes, I wouldn't say age really matters, but the whole point is if you are coming in for a master's program, you should have a bachelor's degree. Okay. So if you are 16, 17, 18, and you have a bachelor's degree, why not? But with the laws of Ghana, being an adult and all of that, for me, I would say that at least you should be 18 years before you move to the US if you are coming to stay on your own.
Okay.
Yeah, because that will help you. At least you are an adult at that stage. But if you are a minor, I'm not so sure about the laws or the immigration laws when it comes to moving to the US as a student, and then maybe you are below the age. But I would say that once you have a bachelor's degree, if you are coming for a master's, you are good. I wouldn't say age really matters in that category. Just have your bachelor's. Okay. If you are coming for a PhD, have your master's degree.
Okay. Yeah. So you were saying after paying all that, and then what else?
Yeah. So after paying your admission fee, application fee, sorry, just wait patiently for your admissions. Usually they release admissions February. I got my first admission in February. So between February, April, May, you should be getting an admission.
So does it really mean everybody will be, will be receiving the admission letters or something like that on February?
No, it doesn't.
Is there a specific month?
It's not specific.
Okay.
Each schools differ.
Okay.
So I applied to ISU 2 times, got admission 3 times, which which is interesting. My first admission came on February 12th, second admission came March 13th, and the third one came, I think, February 1st. So it doesn't matter. They just, all the schools have their window period. Okay. And one other thing I should touch on is funding, right? If you are applying for admission, you should also think about funding. Most of the schools, during the application process, they ask you if you want to be a teaching assistant with their department, and teaching assistantships come with funding. They pay your tuition, and then you are teaching undergraduate or you are assisting a professor as a research assistant, so they pay your funding, your tuition for you, and then they give you monthly stipend. That is what we survive on as students. That's what helps us pay our rent, that's what helps us to feed and all of that. So as you're applying for the admission, you should also think about the funding. And I always say that funding opportunities is like you're applying for a job. So when I applied to ISU, Illinois State University, I applied to 22 different graduate assistantship positions. So you just go on the website to review all the graduate assistantship positions they have. So you see yourself as you're applying for this job. Look at their criteria. Do I qualify for this? I always say that if you qualify for it, apply for it. You never know. So I got about 3 different graduate assistantships, and then I get to choose which one I wanted. So yeah, as you are applying for admission, also think of the funding opportunities. Some of the admissions, they come automatically with funding. Others do not. So as you go through the process, your search, you find all this information. That is why I stressed on the fact that you should contact the graduate coordinators. They will provide you the necessary information you need. Yeah. So once you get the admission, you get the funding opportunity. That is just a first part of it. Now you have to start the immigration process. Okay. So as an international student, once you are offered admission, they have the international office in all the schools. They reach out. We usually call them ISSS.
ISSS.
Yes.
What is
International Scholarly Services, something like that. It's International Scholar Services, something like that. They have these offices that once you get admission, the office is going to reach out to you. Because you applied as an international student, the office reaches out to you, and they have a form that you fill, which is known as Declaration of Finances. Most of the schools call it Declaration of Finances, and this is where you look at the funding you have, and then the cost to attend the school, right? So if your funding caters for everything, then you probably have a zero deficit. But if your funding caters for half, they are just paying your tuition, then it means that you have to bear the cost of your travel, you have to bear the cost of your feeding and your housing, all of that. So all this is calculated for a year. So they have the calculation. So maybe for the entire year, you're supposed to spend about $45,000. And the department, as a result of your tuition, the tuition waiver you got as a result of your graduate assistantship, they are probably going to pay $33,000. So it means that you are going to be left with a deficit of $6,000, $8,000 thereabout. So this deficit, once they provide the form, this deficit is what you have to prove as funding you have in maybe your personal bank statement, your parents' bank statement, or your company is sponsoring you. So this is where you have to provide proof of funding that yes, the school is catering for this amount of money, and I have this amount of money to add up to it to cater for the entire cost of the year, which is $44,000. And once you are able to provide that bank statement to the international office, they are going to issue you your immigration document, which we call the I-20.
Oh.
So the I-20 form is this form that has your record on it, that you've gained admission to this particular school. They have a specific number that they assign to you, which we call the service number. And this service number is entered into the US database as identifying you as a student studying here. And so once you get this form, this is the form, the primary form that you use in applying for your visa. You cannot get an F1 visa without an I-20. It's the very primary document. It's a proof that you've gained admission. You've provided, the school has seen your bank statement. And then they know that because of the information you've provided, you'll be able to go through the school without any challenges. So yeah, that is the second part. Once you get the I-20, the next step is to apply for a visa. Now, when I was talking about the I-20, I mentioned the service number.
Yeah.
So with the service number, your records is entered into the system, but you would have to pay another fee. As of now, I'm not sure how much it's being charged for that, but I paid $350 for the service fee.
$350?
Yes, that's a lot of money.
Wow.
And if you want to convert that into Ghana cedis, right?
Yeah.
That's really a lot. But yeah, you have to pay $350 for that service number to be verified before you can apply for visa. You don't have to pay before you apply. You can apply for the visa, but before you go for the interview, you need to have a receipt of payment for that service, because technically you have to pay. So yes, that's another cost that you have to incur. So you pay $350, maybe if they increase it. I don't have information on that, but you pay service fee.
So if you have all that and then you get to the embassy, what else?
Yes, so when you get to the embassy, it's just simple. They have an interview with you. The interview is just to, as most people say, to confirm your intentions, right? Whether you are necessarily going there to study or you have different intentions. They just want to have that interaction with you and to verify if the purpose for which you are going to the US is
So you talking about an intention, is there any people or any students that normally don't come in for that kind of intention, but maybe they are coming in for a different intention?
Yeah, I've heard stories where people get F1 visas. So for students, we get F1 visas. Get F1 visas, they come here, and because they had different intention of coming to the US, it wasn't just about coming to school. They just use the school route because people say it's easier to get a visa through the school route
with a school
rather
route.
than any other thing. So they use the school routes, they get in here and then they abandon the school. But it also comes with its consequences, right?
Okay.
So yeah. So you get to the embassy, they interview you. If the consular
So the first day you go into the embassy, how was it?
I mean, it was...
Were you like shivering and panicking and stuff like that?
I mean, it's... Yeah. For the want of words, I would say there's always that feeling where you know that when you're denied, I mean, you've been preparing for that. I've been preparing for that for a long time. So getting there, meeting the counselor, for the first 20-30 seconds, I felt so nervous.
When they mention your name?
I mean, they didn't mention my name.
Oh, they didn't mention your name?
They just said next.
Oh, yes,
okay, they just said next. So I was the one in front.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the person who said next, the counselor, had just denied the person they interviewed.
Push.
So, I mean, at that moment, I felt that rush. But I got there, the first question, why are you going to the US? I just calmed down. I answered the question. Myself, I could feel that there were shivers in my voice, but of course, having prepared for it, I just took it easy, answered the first question. And
you said took time,
yeah,
take it easy.
Yes, so when the question came, I mean, I shivered. And if you shiver and you don't take care, you'll be tempted to speak.
To say something you don't need to.
To speak very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm a very patient person. So I just took my time, thought about the question for a second time. And one trick, and that happened for my second question. One trick is that in order to reflect on the question, I repeated the question to the counselor. I didn't do that for the first first question, but the second question, I did that. For the first question, I just paused for about close to a minute, and the counselor was very human enough to understand. I mean, they of course know the tension that comes with it. So yeah, it took me a minute to answer the question, and after that, I think I did pretty good on my interview.
So the second question was what?
So the second question was, what's your qualification?
Oh.
Yeah.
But he has all the documents in front of him?
That is the tricky part. They have all the documents. They've gone through your application materials and all of that.
But they still want to ask you.
They still want to ask you. So I say that I've helped people, I've guided people through the process, and I always tell them that they know the answer to the question they are asking.
But they will still ask you.
But they want to see your confidence. They want to see whether you know what you are about. They want to see whether you are involved in the process or someone else is just doing it for you.
Yeah.
And the way you answer the questions will tell them the true reflections of your intentions. So yeah, they know, they've gone through your application process, and they don't even look at you. That's the annoying thing. They ask you the question and they keep on typing. Sometimes you wonder what they are typing, but they are going through your application materials and all of that.
So on that same day, you had a visa?
I got my visa.
You got your visa?
I got my visa.
So how was the feeling?
So yeah, I got my visa. The lady said, I'm approving your visa. After she said that, she said a lot of things after saying that. And I don't remember any other thing she said.
You were just like focusing on give me
my visa. And the moment she said, I am approving your visa.
That's all you know.
That was all for me.
And so all that she was saying was like...
Everything that she said, I did not remember. And at the moment, so after she finished speaking, I was supposed to leave. I got confused. I didn't know where to go. And the security man, the security man was like, "Oh, you have to go this way," because I was going the other way. I didn't know where to go.
Oh my goodness!
That feeling that comes with the idea that this is what I wanted and I have it. Yeah, you are just surprised. You don't know. I mean, I had that feeling. I was like, oh yeah. So it was overwhelming. It was I was super happy. And immediately I stepped out. The first person I called was my mom.
Oh my God, mom was so happy, right?
Of course.
All right, we're going to talk about your mom being happy, and then we talk about your first time of getting into the state. How was it? We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'm going to ask you about how the feeling of your mom, how. Mommy, I have received it. How your mom began to feel, and then your first time of stepping your foot in the United States, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, so we're going for a quick break. Hello, people out there. You are watching Willesmedia and Entertainment TV, a chit chat show that we normally bring to you. I am talking with a gentleman right here that I'm praying that he's going to be a professor in the time to come. Yeah, that is his dream. We're talking about schooling abroad. If you're in Ghana, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in wherever that you are and you want to school in abroad, he's giving us the tidbits. So you gotta stay on tune so you can have all the tidbits. So Mr. Matthew, you were talking about the first day that you had a visa and then you call your mom. So how was the feeling?
I mean, she was very happy because in 2018, I told my parents that I have intentions of studying abroad. Okay. But I had not spoken to them about the entire process, what I was going through and all of that. But the very day I went for the visa interview, so I went for the visa interview, I left Volta region to Accra to attend the visa interview that very day. So I left very early in the morning. So when I was leaving, I left around 3 a.m. in the morning. I told them that I'm going to the embassy to apply for my, to go for my visa interview. So immediately I got the visa, I called my mom. And when I called her, I mean, I was silent for a minute. And then she was like, "Did you get it?" I was like, "Yeah, I got it." And she was so happy.
Oh, wow.
And then the next move was just to get on the next bus home. I got home and my mom prepared a delicious meal for me.
Oh, my God.
And I mean, I got home pretty late, around 8:30 p.m., but I still had to eat. Yeah, so she was super happy. My parents were really happy. Yeah. Although, yeah, they knew that it came with a lot of challenges because, I mean, going through that entire process was a lot of money. Yeah. And I intentionally didn't involve them in the process because I didn't want them. I had been a burden. Let me put it that way. I'd been a burden.
They've done enough for you.
Because they've done enough. Yes,
for you.
Seen me through basic school, through to the university and all of that. So they were really happy that I finally got the visa and I was.
So what's your mom's name?
My mom's name is Lucy Tete.
Lucy Tete. Hey, Madam Lucy Tete. We're giving all the shout outs from Chicago. Yeah. Move on to this way. The first time getting to the airport, coming into United States, and you step your foot right here. What happened?
Yes, I mean, so moving here, I left Ghana on July 29th, 2022. I got here 30th.
30th,
yes.
Okay.
Stepping foot in the US. So I went through London.
Okay.
And then I got to Chicago at 3 p.m. And I mean, it was a whole different
So
experience.
who came to pick you at the airport?
That's another story. So yeah, I mean, after I got admission, I tried to connect with people here.
Okay.
And then I found a longtime friend who was here. And then I reached out to him. I mean, there were various opportunities to get on the bus, get on the train, and all of that. But I just decided to connect with this guy. I connected with him and he was like, oh, he has a friend who lives around Bloomington Normal. He will talk to him to see if he can pick me up. And this guy gladly decided to come pick me up. And I've been grateful to him since then because he picking me up and then driving me all the way to this place, I realized that it was really a distance, and I would have been frustrated because I got here. I left Ghana with a friend. We were on different flights. She got here about 3 hours before I got here, but she missed her bus. So I wouldn't know how the experience would have been if he hadn't come to pick me up. And getting out of the plane, getting into the airport, I was like, oh, I was just amazed, right?
You have tried.
I was just amazed looking at a new environment. So at that moment, it was mixed feelings because the moment I got on my flight from Ghana, the moment the plane took off, I had that feeling of missing home.
Oh.
Yes. Because, I mean, I had thought about it. You're going away for 2 years. The only time I've been away from family, friends, that were close, especially family that long, was a maximum of 9 months away from home. I didn't see my parents and all of that. But now, getting on the flight, the plane moving, it dawned on me that it's going to be 2 years where I'm not going to see
family. But you've been talking to your parents, right?
Yes, I talk to them. So I talk to my parents every Sunday. They probably called me. My phone is not with me here. So yeah, that feeling, it was just bewildering. But here we are. It's been 3 years.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking with us and then giving us all the tidbits. If you are watching and you don't understand anything, just replay the video.
Yeah, of course.
Just replay the video. So we're trying to wrap up the whole show today, but I want to ask you if you have any family relatives that you want to say any shout outs to them.
Of course, shout out to my parents are not on social media, but shout out to my twin brother, my kid brother, and all my friends out there who are looking up to me. And we are doing our possible best, and I want you to also put in your best. Trust me, there's a lot of opportunities out there, and once you grab the opportunity, you're just going to succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Matthew, Professor Matthew, right? Thank you.
Very
Yeah.
soon.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you
much.
Talking with Willesmedia.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right.
Too.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me.